Hello and welcome to my workshop. In today's video I am going to be doing a quick review of the Parkside Nibbler, the PMK 550A1. If this is your first time watching, please hit the like, please share videos, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Hitting the notification bell is important, otherwise YouTube won't notify you. Anyway, quick review. What this is a nibbler. And that's exactly what it does. It nibbles away at metal. It can do steel up to 1.6mm capacity and copper up to 2.5. It's not copper, aluminium up to 2.5mm. Don't have any aluminium of that sort of ilk. What I do have is I do have some sheet steel of about 1 and 1.2mm. What you get in the box is the instructions. Let me just show you what's. You get the nibbler, and you get a spare die and some Allen keys. So that's interesting. Let me just have a quick perusal of the instructions and I'll come back to you. Something to, by the way, quickly to note is obviously it looks like the brushes are changeable. You don't get spare brushes though. On off switch there, and that's about it. Comes with a fairly clunky lead. Let me have a quick look at those instructions because they'll tell me how to change the blade. Using that is fairly self-explanatory. We'll come back to that in a sec. Right, so that was quite interesting. Let's start with features. Firstly, there are two grooves, one here, that's 1.6mm and that is 1.2mm. Let me just actually check that. The idea of those is that you can then use those as a groove just to see how thick the material you're cutting is. So if I just stuff that in there, that comes out as actually 1.24, that comes out as 1.67. but that might be the way I'm measuring it. So if you have a piece of 1.2mm steel, which we're going to cut in a sec, that should slot in that hole there, and that tells you it's 1.2mm, which is handy because this stuff is nasty and hard. This stuff on the other hand is 1mm, and that will obviously fit in both, except that's got a nasty burr on it, but it does fit in that and it does fit in that. So that's useful. It's got a gauge on there for measuring. The next thing is I'll cover how you change the die because I'm going to show you a feature of this. Back here there is a Allen screw. And if you go and get in there and undo that, you can then, once you've got it undone enough, twist that around. Unfortunately, there we go, and you can do that up at 90-degree intervals. So if you want to cut sideways, you can. Okay, now, and then you just do that up and it'll lock that. Now it does say in here that you should put an oil along the line of where you're cutting. I'm not sure if they could do with oil in the actual workings in here or not. I personally think I might be inclined to. If you undo that enough, you can withdraw this. Okay, it's a bit fiddly to get back on, but that comes off, and then there's an Allen key in there which you undo to be able to change this pin here. So when that wears out, that's how you get to it. So we're going to put this back together again. I'm just going to go and put a little bit of dab of oil on there. And we're going to put that back together. Now when you put this back together again, it's a bit fiddly to get in. Got to get that lined up reasonably perfectly. but it does get there in the end. In we go. We'll now do this up. So I like that. Right. Out the way. The cable is a nice thick cable. Just have a look at how long that is. They're normally 3 meters on these. Does it say how long the cable is? No, not that I can see. Right. Yep, that's 3 meters. Right. Plug it in. Eye protection. That. That's quite quiet, that is. Right then. So, this stuff is nasty stuff. We're just going to go and hack a bit off there. First thing I'm going to show you is the width of the cut. So that is the width of the cut. It's quite wide, and there you can see the chips it produces. You can also see that it's going through that like it wasn't there. Let's just chuck a little bit of oil along that line. See how easy it is to follow Now what you do need to be doing is pulling it up. You can see it's okay at doing a straight line. Let me just try another one. Right, now what we're going to do, I'm just going to chop that off there. Do a slightly wavy line. Where do I put that pen? I'm losing my marbles, or at least I'm losing my pen. There it is in my pocket. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to see how easy it is to follow a curve. That's what I've done there. Okay, and what I failed to do there was take account of the minimum radius, so it didn't quite cut there. I was trying to cut too tight. But as you can see, for going through sheet metal, it goes through very, very, very quick. It also goes through fairly quietly. And I also haven't done that up properly, so let me get that done up properly. Clearly come loose. So let's just cinch that up a bit better. Right, let me just try that. That pretty much is the minimum radius. Anyway, right, so I've used nibblers before, but I've used them mounted on a drill with a thing so that you have the drill held and you've got your drill mounted nibbler and you know, have to hold that, and it's a bit awkward. That's a lot less awkward. Someone's clearly thought about these things. That's a good idea. I like the way you can change the angle of this. And you can see for cutting sheet steel, it just cuts it like it wasn't there. With the only proviso being that it has a relatively wide steering angle. You can see roughly what it is there, so it's no good for tight curves. What you can do obviously is you can cut in and then nibble away at what's in there, and particularly if you wanted to cut in a slot like that, you could cut in and then widen that out and just eat the metal away, and as you get more space you can then turn it. That's a good tool. Changeable brushes, I like that, easily changeable brushes. Comes with one spare blade. I might see how easy it is to get hold of more of those. Frankly, I like it. It is $34.99 though, relatively pricey. Very handy for sheet steel though. Very handy for sheet steel. You don't get the sparks you get with angle grinder. You don't get the noise. And you get, let me have a look, you get a reasonably neat edge. That's what the edge looks like there. I don't know how well you can see that. I mean, it does sort of look like it's been nibbled really. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Something else just before I go, I did buy a few other bits and bobs. I bought one of them, I bought one of them, and I bought some drills. If anyone wants to see anything on those, leave a comment down below. Again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. That's really important. Hit the notification bell as well.